But you know what I was impressed by, I'll tell you honestly, was they were throwing everything at you, and you looked frustrated, and they were being physical, and you still put it on. We haven't seen that since Ohio State. You know what I mean? Because you were the man.
Yeah.
How do you build off of that now going into what's year 3 already?
Yeah, I honestly forgot about that, how frustrated I got in that game. But, man, it was fun. Summer League was fun. So I think, for me it's just been, catering my workouts towards, what I'm actually going to do in the game. Heavy on the attention to detail, picking it up on the defensive end. So I feel like, these workouts have been, incredible throughout the summer. I feel like, they've been very productive, and I've gotten a lot done. I feel like I've gotten a lot better as well. So I'm excited to see how it pays off.
What do you envision your role on the team to be going into year 3?
I feel like, I'll try to pick up where I left off last year on the offensive end, shooting the ball, kind of being a secondary ball handler if needed. And, I feel like expanding my playmaking game as well. Just using my shot gravity to get my teammates open and also to get in the paint. So, I feel like that'll be important for me. And then also just becoming a two-way player, playing both sides of the ball is going to be very important for the trajectory of my career. So, it's something I need to do and something that I will do. So I'm excited for that as well.
It's kind of funny coming out of Ohio State. You had such a unique offensive game. You're really mid-range heavy. Mm-hmm. You shot well from 3 as well. Yeah. And then, so the question coming into the league was like, what's his game going to look like? Mm-hmm. So it seemed like you had to deconstruct it. Not to say you're just a specialist, but you came like a great three-point shooter last year. Mm-hmm. How do you then rebuild on top of that? Now that you kind of have the foundation of like, this is your identity, then where do you go?
Yeah, I think, you described it very well. I think, shooting the ball and being a catch-and-shoot type of player was something that was very important for me towards the end of the year. And it's something that the coaches and the staff and the front office stressed that would be important for me as well. And it's still going to be important this year. And I feel like you said, just using my shot now and my gravity to expand, keep it simple. I think, some of the best offensive players in the game, like, for example, Kevin Durant, like, he doesn't do a lot. He uses his shot gravity, and, obviously he's 7 foot, so he can shoot over people. But, he's keeping it within 2, 3, 4 dribbles, and, he's getting to exactly where he wants to get to. So, for me, I think, having that same mindset, like using only a couple dribbles, to draw 2, or if I'm open, let the ball go. So that's what I'm looking forward to do.
I've asked a lot of athletes over the years, like, what's it like to be in a zone or really be playing well? So I'm curious, that weekend in Florida where you go Orlando and Miami and 34 points one night, 27 the next, and just took both those games over in games that you guys were not necessarily expected to win.
You weren't supposed to win.
So my question is, what's that like? What's it like to really feel that?
Man, it was crazy. I think especially being back home, at that time, and, all those things, like people texting me and, hey, I'm going to be at the game, this and that. Like, I'm really surprised that I was able to keep it together and, have those kind of performances. And also, surprisingly, I was a little bit sick, too, because I had missed those next few games with something. I don't know what I had. But I was actually sick in those games, so I don't know what came over me. It probably had to be the power of God. But, man, I was just in the zone, and, I really wasn't thinking too much. I think in the Miami game, it was more just like a, kind of like a flow state, like just not thinking about it, just going out there and just kind of, making it easy on myself. And then for the Orlando one, it was kind of a closer game. So, I think that competitiveness kicked in and, really trying to win the game was important for me. So I think that one carried me through. But, that was a really fun weekend. I still think about it so much just because of, how much friends and family were there and, how much fun it was. So.
Did you get married?
I did, yeah.
How was that?
It was great. Me and my wife, we went to the courthouse to get it done, and then we kind of did it backwards.
Here?
No, it was in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did that, and then last All-Star break, I proposed to her, so it was kind of like backwards, but we still want to do it kind of traditionally. But, Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's for us, because we're so young, it's still kind of like there's more responsibility, of course. But, we're kind of just treating it like, any other relationship. So it's been fun.
I don't get nervous all that often. We work on the radio. You're an NBA player.
Yeah.
I have never been more nervous than I was on my wedding day. And
Really?
I knew it was good for me. I knew
yeah.
it was like this was a great day, and I was just sweating bullets.
Yeah. When I had the way we did it was I had a restaurant sectioned off, and we were in Hawaii over All-Star break, and when I originally set it up, I thought it would be like a private section of the restaurant, but really it was just like the terrace, and they had it sectioned off with ropes, but like the rest of the terrace everybody was out there eating dinner. So it ended up being like a bunch of people just staring at us, like waiting for it to happen. There was people in their hotel windows up there with their windows open waiting for it to happen. So I was pretty nervous too. I was, choking on my words when I tried to give my little pre-speech, but it turned out well.
Shocking number of tall guests at this wedding. Who's getting married here?
Yeah.
There's a lot of tall people.
Honestly, it's that kind of weird stuff that makes it memorable, though.
Yeah, for sure.
It's that people you'll never forget looking up and seeing people look down on
exactly.
you doing it. That's so cool. What goals are you setting this year? Lots of people set goals different ways, right? It doesn't need to be a number or whatever, but when you think I want this to be successful this year, what do you think about?
Yeah, like I said, man, becoming a two-way player, really stamping myself as a, kind of a, whether it's 3-and-D or a two-way player. I think, like I said, for the trajectory of my career, I need to, mold into a defensive player. So, I'm going to work on that throughout the season and, pay very close attention to detail to the film and everything, whether it's myself or other players. But I'm really excited to take that side of the ball more seriously and grow in that area.
You look different physically than when you got to the NBA, but really even since last year. What has been the change to your body this summer? What's been the goal?
Man, it's been a long process. I think ever since the end of last season, there have been, I would get certain pictures in my phone and I'd be like, man, this has got to change. I feel okay, but it's not looking the best. So. I think I started in May, and actually my lady's been cooking for me. She's been, just substituting random things. If I want something sweet, it'll be a brownie made out of cauliflower, or it'll be zucchini mashed potatoes, or just random stuff like that, protein pancakes or whatever. But really just keeping it very simple. And, I think the diet is the biggest thing, on top of the work and, the extra conditioning and stuff like that I'm getting that's making a big difference. So, I think I ended last season around, probably closer to 240, 238, and now I'm at, 227. So, got some more work to do. I'm trying to get to, 225. But it's been a good process though. I'm able to maintain it well, and I feel great. So, it's made a difference for sure.
What do you think you were in college, or coming out of college?
I think in college I was probably right around 236.
Okay. So you're slimmer now than you were then.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think once I got hurt at the end of my college career, it kind of, obviously because I wasn't able to do much, things probably changed then. But, yeah, I'm slimmer now than college for sure.
You mentioned defense and your place in the league. I can't imagine Coach looking at me and being like, you, go out there and slow down Anthony Edwards. What has been your toughest assignment? Has there been that moment where it's like, you want me to go guard that guy?
Yeah, I think my toughest matchup in the league has probably been Devin Booker, but he was coming off a lot of screens. So I'll say Devin Booker, he's got an incredible offensive game, but he had it going that game. He was coming off screens, snaking the screen, and it was really nothing I could do, to be honest, in those possessions that I was guarding him. So I think I'd say that was my toughest matchup so far. And the underrated one is Karis LeVert.
Okay.
He's very tough.
All right.
Yeah.
Keontae said he was really happy to see Taylor back on the floor. You guys are all in that same draft class. What's that been like for you?
Man, it's incredible, especially like the way he's coming back. Like, he's been looking so great in our like pickup games and stuff like that. And just like what he does on the court, like not a lot of people do. Like the gritty work, the dirty work, the rebounding, the putback dunks, the stuff like that. The stuff that he does, not a lot of people can do. So it's going to be very helpful and very exciting to play with him throughout this next season, and I'm excited to see what he does.
Brice, we can't thank you enough for jumping on with us. Good luck coming up this season. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much, man. It's
All
a
right.
pleasure.
Yeah.